Welcome back to the Devon Too Good Investing channel. Today in this video, we are going to go through Corsair Gaming's Q3 2021 financial results. Now, before we get into this, guys, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you come back for more Corsair content as it comes out. So guys, let's waste no time and get right into it right here, right now. Corsair, they produce net revenue for the first 9 months of $1,393 million of revenue. This is an increase of 21.6% year over year. Their gamer peripherals section over the first 9 months, that grew 35.3% year over year. And we can see that their gaming components and systems segment, it grew 15.6% year over year. And then if we have a look at their net income, you can see that for the first 9 months, it was $76.2 million compared to $60.2 million in the same period last year. And then if we have a focus into the adjusted net income for the first 9 months, it was $110.2 million compared to $91.9 million in the same period last year. So we can see that these are pretty strong results, especially in their gamer and creator peripherals segment. You know, that's some strong growth, especially compared to sort of what analysts were expecting. But as we sort of come down to the third quarter results, this is when things start to unravel a little bit for Corsair Gaming. So we can see that net income for the third quarter of 21 compared to the third quarter of 2020, we can see that in total it decreased 14.4% year over year. We can see that the gamer and creator peripheral segment, that dropped 13.8% year over year. And then the gaming components and systems segment, it decreased 14.8% year over year. And ended up only producing a net income of $1.8 million. But once they adjusted, their adjusted net income was $16.3 million. And this is compared to $48.5 million year over year. So this is a drastic decrease, and we will be getting into all the reasons why this decrease occurred. Corsair Gaming have also released some new products, notably their 1080p face cam. This is made specifically for streaming. And then they've also released their that's the name right there. The Xenon gaming monitor. This is going to be a high-end monitor, high refresh rates, especially for high-end gaming. I imagine the price tag on that one will be quite high. And then they'll also announce their first DDR5 memory products, and those will probably come out next year sometime. In the conference call, they did mention about supply issues with DDR5, and the rollout to market will probably be slow, and it will probably, it won't be significant until late 2022. In terms of their balance sheet, they have reduced debt by $24 million, and they've reduced it down to $250 million. During the third quarter, they experienced an increase of logistics costs over the already elevated rate in the second quarter, and the cost and shipping times are expected to remain the same for the remainder of 2021. So that probably explains some of the hit to their net income. Elevated shipping costs. Shipping globally has become extremely expensive due to shipping shortages, pretty much. This is due to the impact of the coronavirus. So yeah, pretty much right now we're seeing shipping costs 2, 3, 4, 5, even up to 5 times as expensive as what it was back pre-pandemic in 2019. So right now the company is eating these costs, hence it's hurting their margins, it's hurting their bottom line. These things won't last forever. I don't know how long they will last. It could last another year, maybe, hopefully not another 2 years, but who knows? Or maybe it could last less than 1 year and these things will sort of alleviate over time. But one thing is for certain, these increased logistics costs and shipping costs, they won't last forever. In In terms of the guidance for full year 2021, Corsair's management never came out and they've given a net revenue in the range of 1.825 billion to 1.925 billion. This is actually in line. They've reduced it from mid-year, but this was the exact guidance at the start of the year. So even despite all these issues, they're still going to meet their guidance that they gave at the end of 2020, which is pretty crazy. Adjusted operating income in the range of 180 to 195 mil, and adjusted EBITDA of 190 mil to 205 mil. So we're going to remember what we're paying for this company. We're paying, at the moment, I believe the market cap's around 2.5 billion. And we can see that we got our adjusted operating income guidance of 180 to 195. So that's a PE, it's around 15. And, that's pretty bare bargain prices for a company that's producing, close to $200 million in operating income. But imagine what's going to happen when these sort of short-term issues alleviate and Corsair gets back to business. One of the other big issues that was holding back Corsair, other than the logistics issue, was the semiconductor shortage. Pretty much has caused graphics cards to be in very short supply compared to the demand, and as a result, the prices of these graphic cards have gone up exponentially, 150 to 200% of their normal retail price. This has caused gaming enthusiasts and people who want to build PCs to delay building their PCs in anticipation of these prices coming back down eventually. So pretty much this is slowing the gaming components section of Corsair's business, and the company estimates that it has affected their natural demand by about 10%. So they do believe that they've lost about $100 million of revenue due to this. However, they do think that this pent-up demand here, as we see, should be released in 2022. So potentially we might see an uptick in 2022 because of this pent-up demand. Here we go, CEO Andy Paul. He continues to reiterate that the supply chain and the GPU cards are very expensive and very short. Gamers don't want to spend $1,500 or $2,000 paying for graphics cards, so they're pretty much just waiting for these prices to normalize. And that is what's causing the revenue outlook to look a little soft, in his words. And he also states that it's not related to the underlying demand. It's just the fact that people can't get the cards, and when they can't get the cards, they won't be able to build their PCs. And if they can't build their PCs, then they won't buy Corsair, gaming cases, memory, and cooling products. Makes a lot of sense to me. One of the analysts actually asked a really good question. And his question was regarding, these supply chain constraints. He was asking whether the gaming components and the gamer and creator peripherals sort of are affected differently. And I think it was a really good question, because Andy Paul comes out and he says that the GPU shortage actually has no effect on the volume of gaming peripherals. And he says that there was actually lighter demand in these areas, and his sort of explanation for this was because some of the products in the gaming peripherals, such as webcams and whatnot, those were high due to the working from home conditions and just that rush that we got during the pandemic. So we can see those areas of the business starting to pull back a little bit. But he reckons that they will rebound in 22. So that's interesting to note, and that's something we probably should keep an eye on going out into future quarters, because this thing, the GPU shortage shouldn't be affecting gaming peripherals as hard. But we can see in the numbers that gaming peripherals for Q3 were actually down pretty much as the component side of the business. So this is something crucial to watch, because if this gaming peripherals side doesn't rebound, but like what they're saying in 2022, that might hurt the business, as that's their fastest growing part of the business. It's also the part of the business with the highest margins. I do think it will rebound. Especially, you look at the products that they're releasing. It's some really good products. If we scroll up, I highlighted some areas up here. Like, if they weren't confident in their products, they wouldn't release 113 new products. It's just as simple as that. And some of the products that they're entering, like the markets that they're entering, the TAM for USB cameras, $1 billion. Imagine if they can just get 10% of this market. That's $100 million right there. What about the gaming monitors market? Well, that's $4.5 billion. What if they only gain 5% of the market share in that business? That's a hell of a lot of revenue right there. DDR-RAM. Oh, excuse me. DDR-RAM. My throat's getting a bit dry. Going ham, ladies and gentlemen. Going ham. That's another area where they're going to be able to expand into, and they're already a leader in that. I believe in in their memory products. Oh my gosh, in their memory products, they have 60% of the market share. They're already a leader in that market. So, as long as their products are pretty much the same as before, that they should do extremely well. So guys, in conclusion, it was a disappointing quarter, but pretty much none of this is management's fault. I don't know what Corsair could have done about it. There were two main issues affecting their business. One was logistics issues and the cost of freight. We can see freight is up, 2, 3, 4, 5 times the price of what it was in 2019. And then the other second issue was the GPU shortage. And, that's pretty much just causing people to put off buying new PCs. So guys, that's it really. Like, the story behind this is, do you think it's a short-term issue, or do you think is it a long-term issue? If it's a short-term issue, the stock's a bargain. If it's a long-term issue, the stock's a no-go. For me, I think these issues will be short-term, and they should resolve over the next, I'd say within a year probably, they should resolve at least to somewhat, but 2 years max. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But guys, you make sure you do your own research. Come on. Anyway, let's wrap it up. I'm rambling. Thanks guys for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'm going to keep you updated for more Corsair in the future. Laters.